Thank you.
I know exactly to be in. So
I think the first thing, and I think all mothers will agree, the love is the most selfless love that you can ever feel. I think that was a love that I didn't think I was capable of having, you know, to be very honest. That was the biggest, I think difference for me, so to say.
Right.
You know, it took a lot to make that decision. Obviously, you know, coming from someone where I'm glad that I did make that decision. I think like everybody in the public eye, and I think that you know that as much as I do, that body shaming, so to say, especially when you're pregnant and people talk about how much weight you've put on. But I think that as an athlete, obviously people have always seen you being really fit, good 23 kilos. So I didn't hold back or anything, and you know, so for me as well, I had a few doubts whether my body will ever get back to sort of never been in that position, active and doing stuff. So that pressure was very, very high, but to be honest, it was more from myself than from anybody else, because I think that being healthy is so important. That's why I, you know, tried to get back in shape as soon as I could. I had two questions as soon as I got pregnant is, so are you gonna come back? When are you gonna come back? And is your baby gonna play a sport? Child was, you know, here. So for me, I've always like given, you know, I never put him like oh, I'll come back in 6 months or whatever, because I felt like it was unnecessary.
Celebrity in the public eye and
मुझे तो आदत हो गई है ट्रोल्स को हैंडल करने की. I think it's something that goes with that territory, doesn't it? I think it's very difficult to sort of just take the good of the media or the social media. So to say. You have to take the. I am more active than you.
That's true. What do I do? On Instagram and Twitter?
I am quite active, but you know, I think it's something that a lot like you, you know, we became famous at a very young age of our life. So we sort of learned how to deal with a lot of negatives with the positives at a very early age. Kuch na kuch bolungi, because you feel really, that's the human in me, I guess. So sometimes you're like, who wants to be told that they're fat or ugly, or like nobody wants to, or something deeper than that as well. So yeah, social media unfortunately can be a very mean place. It's pros, so you just sort of have to take both of it with a pinch of salt.
So I'm sure that people have always told you that, you know, ज़्यादा sport. I'm sure
so many times. I think especially जब मैं 25 साल पहले की बात है, जब मैंने tennis start किया था, उस time पे तो for a girl to dream of playing a sport, and that to tennis, coming from Hyderabad, was unheard of. Different ways, and of course, like always got the अभी कितना खेलोगी, tomboy बन जाओगी, or got the काली हो जाओगी, शादी कौन करेगा, this obsession that we have of being, I'm talking about 25, 26 years ago, a lot has changed today. We've got amazing stars from the, you know, sports world, and who are women outside of the cricketers, you know, we've got the biggest superstars in women today in sport. But the thing is that I think we still have that little bit of, oh, how is she going to play shorts and go and play outside? Like, so that is something that's a cultural thing which I think will take some time, even though we have.
And your parents were really supportive.
My parents were really ahead of their times, which obviously helped, you know, because, you know, we used to get comments like, so what do you think she's going to play Wimbledon? And it was from very close relatives. It was not like so. But I'm glad that's changed, and you know, obviously God has been kind, and you know, I did what, you know, we won't have to answer these questions when you know, when our children pick up, you know, a tennis racket or boxing gloves or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And the cast and everything.
It's just we signed it a few months ago, and talks have been going on for so long. And we're really excited about it. I think, you know, RSVP's taken the rights for it. Nothing. We don't have anything right now, to be very honest. You know, and we're just like trying to see who kind of fits. And, you know, there are so many things that, you know, even though I wrote an autobiography, I feel that a lot of people don't really know through. You know, they always see the glitz and the glamour and the red carpets. But they don't actually see the hours of hard work that goes into it, the sacrifices your parents make, financially, whatever it is. Yeah, so I'd like to be a you know, active part of it.
Looking forward to that. So what is the scene like?
In tennis, we very recently, by recently I mean maybe about, you know, 5 to 10 years, is when we have started getting equal prize money after a long. I think that struggle is always on. I think that is your having to justify why you should be paid equally. Arey bhai, like why should we not? Question, not more why we should. So yeah, that fight sort of is always on. Hopefully we'll reach a stage where we don't have to give an explanation as to why we're getting paid equal.
What are your views on the fact that,
I think it depends sport to sport. So to say, for example, they said that the Wimbledon final when Serena was playing was sold out, 1 week before. So I think that it just depends sport to sport. Obviously cricket, the male sport, the male have a lot more. I think it just depends really from sport to sport, but I think that a lot has to do with the promoting women's sport as well. And I think that is kind of the solution to it, because you can't not promote someone and say nobody's watching you. I mean, how many women cricketers in India do you see on advertisement? Tali Raj, and we have a Smriti Mandhana, but you don't actually ever see them. You see only the guys.
The last two that we spoke about.
Thank you for having me.
And we've